This is the Arcitype, and you're watching SandoFilms.
Off the mic.
My name is Arcitype out of Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'm a studio owner of the Bridge Sound and Sage, label owner of AR Classic Records, and producer for many musicians around the world. I'd have to say my first musical influences came from my parents. They put me in music school early. Like, my dad actually ran a music school when I was in grade school. I was kind of just always around it. My grandmother was a concert pianist in Europe. It just was like music was just kind of always around me, and all types of music as well. So I was kind of introduced by my parents to a lot of music. Biggest musical influences. It's a tough question because it kind of spans a lot of different genres when looking at music as a whole. When it comes to hip-hop production particularly, I would say Dr. Dre would have to be one of my biggest influences as a producer. The minute I heard this dude's work, I was like, what is this? It's just incredible. If you look at the artist careers that he's launched, he's got an incredible knack for finding amazing talent and developing it. The dream would have been to be involved in a Dr. Dre record, just because as a producer, if that dude is reaching out to you to get involved in his record, then you've done something very right. I think Kendrick is carrying the torch in an amazing way, and he's one of the most exciting artists that I've heard in years. Questlove is an incredible producer in all genres. I mean, he masters kind of everything he does. I think he's incredible. When it comes to music on a whole, there's just musicians that, to me, were like, stand the test of time forever. Like, Jimi Hendrix is just, I mean, in my opinion, like, untouchable. I fell in love with sort of American roots music. I mean, I was a really big blues fan growing up because there's just something about it that is so visceral and so raw to me. I think, you know, Muddy Waters, John Lee Hooker, all the stories and legends of like Robert Johnson going to the crossroads and selling his soul to the devil for his talent, and like the sort of mystique that surrounded it, and then just this sort of raw passion that was put into the music. It captivated me. Then someone introduced me to like Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, and it was like, well, this is basically funk put into a new context. And also introduced me to the Roots, Black Star, Fugees, Lauryn Hill, Wyclef. All of those artists took all the background of music that I loved for so long and put it into this new context that felt like current. And that was just, so it was really honestly high school that I got into hip hop. I wanted to make a blues song, then make a rock song, then make a reggae song, then make a funk song. How do you do all that on one project? It's just kind of sounds disjointed, but in hip hop, there were sort of no rules when it came to that, so I fell in love with it. I've always believed that the message in hip hop at its truest and realest form is very similar to early American roots music. It's just like the blues. It's telling stories, talking about life experience, talking about hardships or the good things that come in life. It clicked with me really right away when I was introduced to the Right Thing. Hearing their music and the way that they presented it and utilized all the influence, I fell in love right away.
Chris dollars in a gambler's hand, dice have been tossed. Dreams found, but my life and my wife has been lost. Music package up in packages, smack, crack, and ecstasy pills. Wrapped in plastic, kids were next to me killed. Spoke the truth to the youth that was truly seen. I went from beat tapes to street dreams to being seen on movie screens.
I've been working with Slaine ever since World Was No Skies 2.0. Over the years since then, I've been involved in, I think, virtually every project he put out since, other than the Boston project. Most recently, we did the Slaine is Dead project and put that out on my label.
It's a word on the street, it's spread. The Slaine is dead. It's been so long, you seen my face. Will I come back to plead my case? Or am I gone? When the time comes to make a leap of faith, there's no way to keep the secret safe. The Slaine is dead. Slaine is dead. Slaine is dead.
Working with Slaine is an incredible experience. He's an incredible storyteller, he's an incredible writer, and he's got incredible work ethic and passion for his work. If the deadline to hand something in is midnight, he will be working on that thing until 11:59 p.m. He needs it to be absolutely the best it possibly can. He cares so much about every detail being right that it's never just like, that's good enough. It's always like, how can we make this better? How can we take it to the next step? So it's been a real honor to work with him. We've gotten real close over the years. Slaine is Dead, the EP is out now. Everyone should check that out.
But one thing that they all know, that you need to be around him. Cause everybody want a piece when they all stop to notice that the boy that they never gave a shot is exactly what you wanted.
Yeah, I've been working with Hook now a few years as well. That dude's super talented as well, and in my time working with him, he's kind of been really exploring his sound and trying to take it to a new place and develop as an artist, and so that's been really kind of cool to just, you know, in working with me, he felt like he could achieve certain things that maybe he couldn't with other producers. With the backgrounds I have, he could kind of exercise a little more of the rock side of him and mix it with hip hop in a cool way, and I think that that's been interesting and exciting because we've done we made tracks together that I don't think either of us anticipated ever having made. He's a multi-pronged threat, you know, because he could just spit a verse for you real quick, or he could sing, and it's just it's hard to know which one he's better at, you know. He's a great guy to work with. Esh Arc, yeah, so Esh is my boy from back in the day, honestly. We were in the same orientation group at Emerson College together. I learned that he was producing hip hop and he was an MC as well, and I was also producing, and we just kind of started trading off songs and honestly became really good friends quickly. And it took years before we actually ever made any music together. Something like 8 to 10 years to finally do. Earlier this year, we dropped our first full-length album together, Death Doesn't Want You. Dropped a number of videos, I think 5 or 6 videos off the album throughout the year. Videos with Esh are always a unique experience for anybody who's ever seen any of them. Like, they kind of stick out. They're not your usual hip-hop video by any means or any stretch of the imagination. We did a video for a song called Needle in Panic Park.
Skirt, tear a hole in your drawers. Now the collar's clipped, another dog on a chain, another slash on the board, on the wall in your brain, another name on a list, another carcass to prey, another blade on the wrist when others darted away.
My guy Christian Hardy, I actually met him through the process of making this video. He really just saw this section of the Pulp Fiction film towards the end of the film. When he heard the song, he just saw that as the visual representation of this song. He had every shot figured out, lined up, ready to go. It just looked amazing. I couldn't believe it. I was floored.
Yeah, I bet they think they tough, but they ain't seen me rumble. I grew up in the jungle where animals become you. You know the hood, a place where these warriors will crumble. Single mothers that run you, fathers go AKA. Coppers that stop us all the time, which is a cold play.
STL Gold is a group that I'm in with Mo Pope, and Mo he was an artist that I was just honestly a fan of. We decided to call ourselves STL Gold, basically based on The Outsiders. We've been going for a few years now. We're working on our next project currently, and recently had the honor of being one of the first hip-hop acts to play inside the Museum of Fine Arts here in Boston. DJ Leah V curated the evening, hit us up, and she's just been a supporter for a long time. She hand-selected all the acts, and so she brought in H Rhymes, Dutch Rebel, and us. Very unique experience, a lot of energy, a lot of fun. I was super happy to be a part of it. Shout out to DJ Leah V.
If you lose your cool, then that means I took your fans. I hope you understand my action. Rashes, separate your spine from your back shit. Miraculous, triple stack it, I'm finna hack it. Put the flavor in your ear on some Craig Max shit. Obnoxious, I mean obnoxious, I'm fucking toxic. I'm Illmatic, it was written that I'm Nostradamus.
Jared is another artist that I really just started working with. I was a fan first. Just a really super talented cat. He's, you know, singer, rapper. He's got a new project that drops on November 4th. It's called The Blanket Truth, and I was very much involved in that. I mixed down a lot of that record. And so I've been working with him now for 3 to 4 years, I'd say. This year I've been nominated for a few different Boston Music Awards. First and foremost, Studio Producer of the Year. STL Gold has been nominated for Hip Hop Act or Artist of the Year. Rex's The Greatest X album, which I co-executive produced, is up for Album of the Year, and Slaine's Pusher music video, which I produced the joint, you know. The biggest thing I've always felt that I've wanted fans to take away from my music is I never wanted anyone to think that I was a one-trick pony and could be defined by one thing. Is I want people to feel like if they see I'm involved with something, you know, they don't necessarily know, they can't predict how it's going to sound, but they feel confident that it's going to be good, and that whoever I may work with, whether it be Slaine, Vinny Paz, Jared Evans, Still Gold with Mo Pope, Esh the Monolith, Fran P, you know, any of my guys on my label, all of those projects each have their own unique sound and distinctive to the artist I'm working with. I want people to constantly be surprised by my work, but always feel like, damn, man, that sounds great, and that's something new and exciting and dope. Pushing the limits of what people think I am and what I can do.
I leave a legendary catalog behind, so I will live forever. Guess I'm fucked, only thing I love is drugs and magnums. So mama taught me never to take what I love for granted.
I remember in the days when things were new.